My real dad was a failed entrepreneur is what I call it, meaning that he just never built a business that was successful, but that's all he ever did was try to build businesses. So it was a major struggle growing up watching him constantly fail, so that was challenging. On the flip side of that though, I read everything and I read books like crazy. The one that really kind of put the nail in the board for me was, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I read that before I was either 17 or 18 years old. I read it on a trip while we were actually in an RV, and I just knew from that point forward that I was going to become an entrepreneur. That was going to be the thing that I was going to do. So that's kind of where I just kind of molded it in. But later, as I've done all these podcast interviews and been on different shows and stuff, somebody was able to kind of drill me down, my childhood to where I saw the success as an entrepreneur. And one of the areas that I really found it that made the most sense why I was kind of drawn to it was I had a good friend who I played baseball with. His dad used to take us to baseball games, Oakland A's games, because I grew up in Northern California. He'd take us to an Oakland A's game in like the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, afternoon game, and it always was like, wait, my parents have to work. How is this guy able to do that? And later as I got older, I realized he owned the biggest businesses in the small town that we lived in. And he was probably one of the most wealthy people in all of the town. And I realized, oh my gosh, that's it. And then so when I, later at Rich Dad Poor Dad, like all of it now made sense to me. And I'm like, that's it. That's how Jim did it. I'm gonna stick with Jim.